2024, 2023 was probably the hardest years of my adult life, undoubtedly. I am coming to you with a reintro, if you will, a reintroduction of the channel and of the work that we do here together, because I feel very strongly that if you are going to subscribe to me, if you're going to support my Patreon, you're going to pour in and invest, you need to know what you're investing in. You got to know, you have to know, what is the return on my investment, Tiff? What am I getting out of this? I'm so glad you asked, dear viewer. I am here humbled before you in the year of our Lord 2025, because 2024, 2023 was probably the hardest years of my adult life. Yeah, undoubtedly. I was baptized by fire. I was grown up, matured through difficulty.
I hate it here. I want to go home.
In all honesty, all jokes aside, I have grown emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, holistically in ways that I have not grown in the last, 10, 20 years. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful to God for it, because that humility and the work that has been done in my life personally is now going into the channel. What is this channel? What are you subscribed to, and what are you going to get? Let me tell you something. Let me tell something to you, okay? Listen, Linda, listen.
Linda, listen.
I feel assigned, called out really, to wrestle with the ideas of the culture and to wrestle with the things that I am being fed by media. I like entertainment. I like movies. I don't think I'm the only one. So I'm here less as an expert or an influencer and more as a guide. And the goal is that we can do this collaboratively together. There are certain movies that really define your worldview and your framing. And one of the movies, I have a list of movies, but like one movie that has really kind of woke me up when it came to media and entertainment is kind of ironic. It's a movie called Imitation of Life, and there's two versions of it. And so what has captivated me about film is the way that the culture clashes and has conversation around issues of the day through storytelling. And to me, that is so powerful, because one thing that we as a culture struggle to do is have hard conversations. Confrontation is difficult. Conflict is difficult. And one thing that movies do is that they nuance that conversation and that difficulty by putting it in front of you, and you get to view it as an experience. You're engaging, but you're not necessarily facilitating. And I think that facilitation is what I want this channel to be. I want it to facilitate dialogue and conversation that challenges us to think deeply. Not just you, us, we, all of us, to think deeply. The imitation of life is what many of us are experiencing in the year of our Lord 2025 around all kinds of things. What are we not truly experiencing, but imitating? What are we replicating in our lives that's coming out of the media, the music, the content that we consume? You are what you consume is what I say a lot on this channel. But it's because I believe that if we change our consumption patterns, how we take things in, we can change what comes out of our lives. I think the importance of film and the importance of critiquing film, which is a big part of the channel, right? Constructive critique. We're not just here to tear down movies, okay? I ain't just gonna be talking spit about movies and talking, throwing shade. That is not what this channel is for. But it is about, can we also challenge our artists, our creatives to think deeply about what they're feeding us? And I'm maybe in a smaller camp with this, but I do believe that we are responsible as artists and creatives. We have a responsibility, and to whom much is given, much is required. I really do operate under the worldview that media and film has a great responsibility and has it's a medium, right? Like we always talk about it, entertainment, it enters you. So we have got to be responsible about what we're putting out as creatives and artists. So I think it's important to dissect, to break down, to think through the things that have been made and perhaps call out or call up to a higher standard. And that is why you will always hear me saying that, like, I'm not going to just critique Black cinema. We're going to move into some more mainstream film over the next year. I'm also going to critique the how we got there. How did we get to a point where Black movies is a designation and not just considered film? How do we get to this point where if a diverse filmmaker puts up a film and it doesn't do super well, they don't get another chance again? Like, how do we wrestle with these issues and these challenges and these patterns, frankly, that we're in, right? So the cycles of it all. So sometimes it's like, I get up here, I say something, I have an opinion, I have a perspective. You don't agree in the comments, which is totally fine. By the way, that is welcomed here. Like, it might not be welcome on other people's channels, it's welcomed here. I am so interested in a nuanced discussion, a nuanced dialogue and discourse in the comments, respectfully. Right? Respectful, nuanced discourse. I mean, sure, I'm sharing my views, right? But the channel is not just for me to live in my own little echo chamber and have all of you agree with me. I actually have two audience people, what am I saying? What are words? I have two audience members that I am making videos for, that I'm making content for. One of those audience members is people like me who love movies, right? You consume it, you're into it, but maybe there's something about the films you're watching that you're like, oh, I'm kind of seeing the same stuff. Like, can we get something different? Those people, I want you here. I want to be your friend. The second group is people who maybe are artists, creatives, people in the film space, other filmmakers, who are like wanting to change the way that the industry functions. That's my second audience. If you have not seen my videos about the self-sabotage or the sabotage of Black Hollywood, or seen some of my longer essay pieces about this, I would encourage you to go watch them. But basically, my perspective is that Hollywood is fundamentally and inherently broken. It is broken for the artists. It is broken for the consumer. You want some ways, some solutions, some tactical or tangible perspective on how we can shift this, even just in your own creation. I've had people say all kinds of things about this channel, okay? If I can pull out some good comments, I definitely will in this section. Y'all be wildin', okay? I've had some real attacks and some critique. So like, I want you to also understand that making content from this place and having a platform, and I'm so grateful for all of you here who have made that possible, it is not for the weak. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for someone who maybe has thin skin. I have very thick skin, by the grace of God, to know that this is not about me, and this is not about like people just always liking what I have to say. If that was the case, I would not be on YouTube. Okay, them comments be real. This is so much bigger than just Tiffany makes videos I like. Or at least I would encourage you to think bigger than that. This is meant to be a dialogue. This is meant to be a collective. This is meant to be all of us moving together with our diverse viewpoints, our differences, as one towards a better media landscape, which I know seems so large and so big and so great, but it happens one at a time, right? I mean, we didn't get to the current iteration of film and media that we have now without a bunch of individuals coming together to do it. So my stomach, I must be hungry. I don't know if y'all heard that growl, but I need a snack. Who I am at my core, child of God, right? A creative, a servant of people. And what this channel is meant to do is to serve. It's to help us to examine and to break the cycles of taking stuff in without discerning what it is, without analyzing it. And if you enjoy that, if you like that sort of thing, I want to promise you something. You gotta come in close. You gotta come in real close. Okay, that's a little too close. Back up. No, I would say you get a chance, or we get a chance to do this together. And I'm going to promise that I will show up. I will show up consistently. I will make videos, more videos for y'all. I have invested in the channel in a way that I have an editor that's fantastic. Shout out to him. And I also invested in accountability around making this content, because I do think that it is important that I give you back what you have decided to give me, which is a community of people who, you know, good, bad, or ugly, we are here chatting with each other. We are here wrestling with issues. So thank you for being here. Thank you for coming along for the ride. I have my Patreon community. Shout out to the Patreon members. Thank y'all for being here. And, you know, we got a goal by the end of the year to, I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but the people in my life know we have a big goal for the end of the year. And I think we can do it together. All right, so I'll talk to you guys so soon. Peace, and let's have a good year.